Hi guys, welcome back to Girl Therapy. I'm your host, Nicole. Thank you so much for joining me this week. I missed you. Whenever you're listening to this, I hope that you had an amazing week. Honestly, I just want to start off this episode checking in with everybody. How are you doing? How are you feeling? Why don't you check in with yourself too and just be like, how am I feeling? What am I feeling today? What are the emotions? What am I hoping to gain from this episode? What did I learn last week? How do I want my week to go? How do I want my day to go? Because today we're going to be talking about an abundant mindset and making sure that we're leading life with that. Because why be sad when you can be happy? Why be in a scarcity mindset when you could be in an abundant mindset? Because so many things, so many amazing things are created with an abundant mindset. And we manifest our life that way, and I've manifested my life that way, and it hurts me or it makes me sad when I see people just not enjoying life or leading with such a scarcity mindset or holding themselves back and just having negative language around a lot of things that are going on in their life. I really just want to dive into all of that today. This is probably just going to feel like a really long voice memo because I'm just going to talk from my experience and the things that have been going on in my life and conversations that I've had, and hopefully you guys can relate to it. Some quick updates. I just had such an amazing, relaxing weekend. I went to the beach. I went to the farmer's market. I did a group workout class with my friends. I made homemade meatballs and marinara sauce. I read a book. That's pretty much it. I've been really leaning into relaxing. That's something that I used to really struggle with. And that's something that I set my mind to this year was just taking things slower and relaxing and just vegging out. And I rarely ever did that. And I think I never really did that in my old apartment now that I'm thinking about it, because that apartment didn't feel like home. And I didn't make it home, and it wasn't very cozy. And my apartment now is so home, it's so homey, and it's so just me. And it makes me, I just never want to leave it. I love it so much. And the more I decorate it and the more I, put into it and the more thought and the little details of lighting my candles, setting the mood, all this stuff. I'm I don't want to leave. I love my freaking home so much. This is actually really exciting. And I just started to think about this now. This is my first apartment since college, I want to say. So since I was 20 years old, that I am renewing a lease in. I've never stayed put in the same place for a year. I've stayed in the same cities, but I've always moved. In New York City, I had 3 different apartments. Since I've lived here, I've lived in 4 different apartments, and I've only lived here 3 years. So imagine that. So this is my 4th apartment that I've ever lived in here. And I'm renewing the lease, and it feels so good to be in a place where I'm so happy, and I want to stay, and I want to renew, and I want to keep making this place my home, because that was my intention for this year, was finding a place that I finally felt comfortable settling in and comfortable building a life in. And it's not going to be my forever, of course, but it's going to be my next year or 2 of my life. I probably will want to be here for at least another year, maybe 2 more years, depending on where life takes me. But it's just a really good feeling to be somewhere where I want to stay. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. And I hope that you experience something like that, or that gives you hope that one day that you will, because I've been a nomad, and this is the first time in my life where I'm I don't want to be a nomad. I want to stay put, and I love it so much. I also just want to check in with you guys about my last week episode about friendship breakups, because oh my God, T is literally stalking me right now, guys. I wish I could turn the camera to her, but she's slowly was just coming towards me. Oh my God, my impending doom. There's also something in my eye. There's a lot going on right now. If you're watching this, oh God, oh God. Oh God, something's happening in my eyeball. I don't know. If I start crying mid-episode, it's because there's a piece of lint in my eyeball that I missed the opportunity to grab when I had it. I also got makeup on my shirt, so if there's a stain on my shirt, it's wet and it's gonna dry, and don't worry about it. Okay, yeah, so last week I talked about friendship breakups, and it seems like a lot of people are experiencing that right now, or have experienced that and are still healing from that. And I know that friendship breakups are really, really hard. You will get over it, I promise you, because I've experienced a few in my life, and looking back and at them now, I'm really grateful. I know this might sound harsh, but that those people left my life, because they weren't right for me, and they weren't people who were going to make my life better. And they were people who helped me grow, but they weren't my forever people. And that's just the reality of it, right? Not everybody can stay in your life forever. There's not enough space for that. I simply don't have enough energy for that. and people outgrow each other, and it doesn't mean that you might not come back to each other in the future, but for the time period, trust that if someone's being removed from your life, it's for a reason. And it does feel like going through a breakup, but similar to a breakup, you will get over it. And stop. And I also want to say, if you're going through a friendship breakup and it feels like a relief and it feels maybe not so bad, or maybe it was like a long time coming and you're like proud of yourself for letting that person go, or maybe it just felt right, you know? I don't want you to feel guilty for that. And that's something huge that I want to touch on, because somebody said something to me and they were just like, one of you guys DM me and you were like, somebody left my life, or I removed from somebody from my life, and it feels really, really good. And I'm so happy that I let that person go. And I don't want to feel guilty for moving on or for closing that chapter. And you absolutely shouldn't. I just went through a friendship breakup. And when I tell you, again, I don't mean to sound mean, but like my life got lighter again. So much drama that I didn't realize was on my life has been removed. It almost just feels like I can breathe again. Like there's no dark cloud. There's no heavy energy. Like that energy was the energy that person was bringing to my life wasn't the right energy. And I didn't realize it because I like got used to it, or I didn't realize like how much it was affecting me until that person was removed from my life. And I was like, oh my God, like I feel so much lighter. I feel like I can like shine again. I feel like my light came back again. And it's not to sound mean. It's just that person brought something into my life that wasn't welcome. And having them removed from my life, I'm so happy. Like I feel really happy. And that's not a shade to that person. That person's a great person. And I loved them very much. I'll always have love for them, but they just weren't meant to be in my life at that capacity. And I don't feel guilty for that, because it's my life and it brought amazing other opportunities and people into my life. And I'm so happy with where I'm at that, like, how could I be mad at that? And I'm not going to feel guilty for being happy and putting my happiness first, because to allow that person back into my life, or to overextend myself to that person, or to want to just like mend things or put a little pretty little bow tie on that friendship, I think would be expensing my energy in a way that would probably bring me down, or would just reopen something that doesn't need to be reopened. It's like Pandora's box. So I just want to say, like, if you are going through something like that, never feel guilty for your own happiness or putting yourself first, because you are the most important person in your life, and you deserve happiness, and you deserve to feel at peace, and you deserve peace, and you deserve all wonderful things that are coming your way. So I just wanted to put that out there. PSA that. Let's get into an abundant mindset. And I think that can kind of flow right into that, because you know, somebody being removed from your life can feel really heavy and can feel really upsetting. It can put you in a dark place. It can put you into a little negative spiral of like, you know, was it me, or did I do something wrong, or why don't people stick around for me, or I'm not going to have a new friend. I'm not going to find a best friend like that again. I'm not going to find a connection like that again. You know, all those thoughts can go through our head during these times. And that is you living in a mindset of like, I am not worthy, or new things aren't going to come in for me, or new people aren't going to come in for me. And that is a scarcity mindset. And a lot of times we fall victim to that, especially in dating, where we start to go on dates and things don't work out, things don't pan out, they aren't your person, whatever it is. And it puts you in this mindset of there's no one out there for me, or I hate dating, or I have to settle on this person because no one else new is going to come in, or we stick around too long, or we let people stick around too long because we're scared that nobody new is going to come in, which is why we get entangled in all these messy situationships and non-committal relations, is because we're so afraid to let something go because we don't believe that something else or something better will come in. And same can be true with friendships, where you hold on to some things because you're afraid that another friend might not come in, or you're afraid of being alone. And all these things are really low vibrational spaces to be. It's very low vibration. It's bad energy. My point that I really want to drive home today, and something that's really important, is the language that you use to talk about all these things that are going on in your life. Your narrative in your head, the person who is narrating your life, what does that voice sound like? Is it positive or is it negative? Is it constantly looking at the glass half empty and not the glass half full? Is it always looking for things that are wrong, or is it looking for the things that are right? what is that voice doing for you and how is it guiding you, right? So your language and the way that you perceive things is going to determine your relationship with that thing. If you talk about dating in a negative way and think there's nobody out there for me, or all the men suck, or all the men are cheaters or liars or this or that, or women, whoever you are or whoever you're dating, then your relationship with dating is going to be negative. You're going to hate it. You're not going to look forward to it. You're going to have a really negative outlook on that thing. And guess what? That's what is going to be reflected back to you. That is going to be your reality. You are constantly going to be handed shitty people or bad people or cheaters or liars or this or that, the fuckboys, because that's what you're seeking. That's what you're looking for. That's what you're looking for in people. That's what you are attracting. So the more that you talk about things in this negative way, the more that you are going to attract that negative thing. What brought up this little conversation was I was getting a facial just this past weekend at Sana. Shout them out, SANA. It's in Wynwood, Miami. This is not an ad or anything like that, but they were amazing. They reached out to me and I had the most incredible experience there. And my esthetician was a girl around my age. She was a little bit younger than me. She just moved here and I'm not giving away any specifics, but she was like on a break with her boyfriend. And I do think that people who either just moved to Miami or in relationships or maybe being newly single are really curious about the single life. And she was just like, can you tell me like how's dating around here? Like how's dating for you? X, Y, and Z. It's just like a little small talk too, and then we got into the whole thing. And, I think the first thing that everybody says when it comes to dating is like, everybody does that like, oh my God, you don't even want to know. Or oh my God, don't even get me started. Or like, it's horrible. Like, I just feel like that's how everybody talks about dating. You ask people about Miami and everybody's like, oh my God, like dating here is horrible. It's horrible. Everything sucks. And I just have never looked at it that way because I've been on a lot of dates. Okay, whoa. In my time here, I've been on some dates. And despite like it never working out with any of the men, I can't sit here and say I've ever really had a bad experience. Have they done things I didn't like? Yes. Have they given me the ick? Yes. Have they not been the right person for me? Yes. Have they portrayed qualities that I don't want in somebody? Absolutely. But does that make that person a bad person? No. Does it make that person lesser than me? No. Does it make that person horrible or a scumbag or this or that? No. And does that mean that dating sucks because that person wasn't my person? No. It just means that it didn't work out. But at the end of the day, I gained something from every single person who I went on that date with. And I always came back from a date and I was just like, well, what did I just learn? Either about myself or that person. Did that person get me closer to the person that I want to be when I am in a committed relationship? Or did that person make me understand more now what I am seeking in somebody else? And the answer is always yes. I've always found what I want through dating. I've always been like, okay, I want more of that. I want less of that. I want that quality. I don't want that quality. I liked this. I disliked this. And sometimes I was surprised. Wait, I actually like that about a person. Wait, I actually am looking for that in somebody. Wait, it's actually not all about, X, Y, and Z. It's not all about the money, the looks, whatever. Because at the end of the day, that shit doesn't matter. It's like, how did that person make me feel? Every single time that I have gone out with somebody, I've twisted it in a way where it's a positive thing and it's not a negative thing. So that's why when I think back about my dates and dating and all this stuff, and even though I've been single this time that I've been in Miami, I'm not looking at it like a negative thing. Even with the guys who've treated me poorly, one specifically actually, I can look at that situation and be like, I'm okay with how that happened and I learned so much from that and I grew so much from that and I don't hate that person. I don't hate them at all and I don't think they're a bad person either. We just weren't aligned. We had different views on things. We wanted different things. They're not a bad person and I didn't lose anything in that situation. Did they waste my time? Sure. But did I also waste my own time? Yeah, I did, because I wasn't ready to learn my lessons. And as soon as I learned my lessons, I was able to walk away from that situation. And I can't be mad at it. I can't be mad at any of it. I can't be mad at people for wanting different things. Not me going on a whole tangent, but coming out of those things, I can realize hey, Nicole, maybe you did have a scarcity mindset, with that person. So how do I now move into dating with an abundant mindset? I move through life with a glass half full attitude. That's just how I am. It's not how I've always been, but that's how I am now, because the alternative hasn't gotten me far either. So I was talking to her about this situation. I was just like, I've always really enjoyed dating in Miami. I think there are really great guys here. And despite it not working out, like always in my favor or exactly how I envision it to, I do believe that it's going to, and that I will find my person when I'm supposed to. And I was just like, hey, like this situation didn't pan out exactly how I wanted it to, but like this is what I learned from it. And instead of acting maybe how I would have, I actually was able to now take all the lessons that I've learned, all the growth that I've acquired, and apply it to this situation and kind of test myself and be like, okay, Nicole, like we've gone through all the growth. We've gone through all the steps. You know exactly what you have to do. You know exactly what hasn't worked for you in the past, and you know exactly how to handle this situation, but can you actually do it now? And that's what I was able to gain from this past situation. And that's why I'm able to be like so okay with everything and still so positive about either that situation in general or dating in general. Like it's going to happen, it for me, and nothing's happening against me, and everything has always happened at the right time. So I'm like explaining this whole situation to her. Like I got into the details with her. She was loving it. So I was like, whatever. And it's just nice to like, it's almost like therapy, honestly. I was actually thinking about this, just side note. Therapists should also get their like esthetician license and like be hairstylists, because I know our hairstylists and all these people who do our things for us, like lashes, lips, whatever, are all kind of like our pseudo therapists, but none of them actually have a degree. But imagine a therapist who could also be your lash tech, or like also be your Botox injector, or also be your hairstylist. Like, are you kidding? I would open up about anything and everything, because I'm sitting here like on this bed. She's like doing like that new face thing on me. Like my mouth is going all crazy ways, and I'm like talking to her through it. It was so funny, but she kind of like stopped at one moment when she was doing my facial while I'm talking to her. And I'm like, did I say something I like shouldn't have said? Or like, did I like, I don't know, like, am I not making sense? Did I overshare? Like, what's wrong? And I was like, is everything okay? And she was like, it's just really refreshing to hear somebody talk about dating like that. And she's like, I'd never heard that before. And she's like, you sound really healed. You sound like really okay. And she was just like, whenever I ask this question, like it's always a crazy answer. And she's like, this actually gives me hope. And she's like, this actually makes me feel good. And this actually makes me want to, like, I'm rooting for you. She's like, I really want everything to work in your favor. And she's like, it's just really nice to hear somebody talk about men and dating like that, because I'm so tired of hearing all the negatives. And just hearing your perspective was so refreshing. And I was like, yeah. I mean, it makes me sad that people have such a negative mindset towards that, but I also totally understand it. I get it. Like, we've all been hurt. We've all been fucked over. We've all had horrible things happen to us. It's what we do with those things that happen to us. That's the important part, because you can't control other people. We know that. You cannot control. If somebody wants to cheat, they're going to find a way to do it. It's in them. They're going to do it to you. And it's not because of you. It's because of them. But how can we flip that situation around and use it to our advantage? Because we always can. And you're going to become a better person because of it. I promise you. And in next week's episode, I already planned it out. I'm going to do why being single, or ways in which being single for the last X amount of years of my life has actually equipped me to be the best possible partner for the next person who comes into my life. It's not always you have to be in relationships to learn how to be a better person or to learn how to be a good partner. Being single has allowed me the space to strengthen the relationship with myself, which is therefore going to translate into me being a good partner to the next person who comes into my life, or to the final person who comes into my life, hopefully. So that was just kind of something that sparked this conversation. And this is something else that I want to touch on, was that I heard somebody say once, like, I think it was actually a man who commented on one of my TikToks, and it was me talking about something, and this girl commented something like negative about the situation. And then this guy responded to her comment and was like, single girls always keep girls single. And you know what? I was like, yes, because we all know that misery loves company, and we all know that that's how we connect. Sometimes it's like over the shitty men or our shitty experiences, or even the same guy maybe we could connect over, like, oh, he did that to me too, or oh, I experienced that, like, and we all kind of talk about the shitty things that have happened to us, and that's how we connect, which I get. That's girlhood. It's like we've all gone through it, we all know. But what's not okay is when something is going well for you or good for you, or maybe you're a little bit unsure about something, you're talking to your girlfriend about this, and then they immediately put their baggage or their perception of that situation onto your situation or onto you. And now you're suddenly now thinking about things that you didn't think about. You're suddenly seeing it from their perspective, a perspective that you didn't see, which sometimes is good. But a lot of times they're putting their negative energy or their negative outlook on a situation that isn't their situation, on something that's going on with you. And I think that can maybe steer us away, or maybe impact the decisions that we make around somebody. I don't think it's fair for girls to constantly project their bad experiences with men onto other women, because then it is the situation of single girls keep girls single. And sometimes we seek advice from people who maybe aren't the best people to seek advice from, or aren't the best opinions. I'm not going to run to somebody who has a really negative outlook on dating to get opinions from them, or to tell them about something that's going on in my life, because they're going to put that negative shadow onto me. They're going to put that negative energy onto me, and they're going to tell me how they would have handled things. And I might not agree with that. And that might not be how I see things. And if I allow that person to give me that advice and get too much into my head, I might actually start believing that, or I might start acting out of character, or I might not handle things how I would have wanted to handle things. And then there I am, sabotaging something that actually could have been something good for me. So I think it's so important to change the language in which how all of us are speaking about dating or anything that's going on to our lives. Because after that esthetician asked me about my dating life, and I told her that, she then had a more positive outlook, and she was like, wow, that actually gave me hope, or that was really good to hear. And now maybe she's going to go and spread that, or maybe I switched her mindset or her language. And now when she thinks about the situation that's going on with her, she's able to flip it and think about it like that, and then maybe pass that on to somebody else. And I would rather speak about the positives and the healthy things and the things that we can gain, and look at things in a different way to spread positivity and to spread hope, than to spread the opposite of that, which is just negativity. And I guess what's the opposite of hope? Like hopelessness. Like, I don't want other girls to think, oh, I'm never gonna find somebody, or she's so right, she reinstilled the idea in me that there's no good men out here, or there's no good people out there. It's like, let's share our positive experiences. Why do we always have to go to the negative when somebody asks you how your day went, or how your date went, or how your day is, or anything? We like to share the negatives, and maybe that's like an addiction to drama thing, or an addiction to like getting the response out of somebody, or sharing a story like that, and it's like more exciting, right? But what if we start sharing the positive things? What if we started sharing like the best parts of our day, and the little details, and the things about the date that went well, and not just the things about the date that didn't go well? We could always lead with, you know what, it was an okay date, this is what I really liked, but like, he's just not my person. That's so much better than like, oh, he did this and that, and I hated this about him, and I hated this about him, and this gave me, like, why do we have to focus on that? So that's kind of my spiel on like an abundant mindset in dating, is like really flip around your language to how you're dating, and think about what you've gained from every single person who has come into your life, and try to focus on the positives and the growth, and how you can become a better person, or become more in control of your narrative and the things that you want in dating and what you look for. And I think the more that you date, the better equipped you are in cutting out people sooner, realizing the things that you want or don't want, and also getting more comfortable with letting people go sooner off the bat and following that intuition. And the more comfortable you get with like letting people go and not dragging things on, that's also operating from an abundant mindset. It's like, even if it's like you just don't want to you've gone on a date with like somebody 2 times and now you're just like stringing them along and texting them, but you don't really want to see them again, but like you're bored or you feel bad hurting their feelings. It's like, let's just get more comfortable with cutting things off and just being like, hey, like I just didn't feel the vibe. And letting that person kind of like go as well, giving that person the respect of knowing where you're at, but also giving yourself the respect of being like, I know what I want and I know what I don't want. And that's totally valid. And it's okay if I let this person go because somebody else is going to come in and somebody who is better for me is going to come in. And I'm not asking for too much or I'm not seeking for too much. Allow yourself the permission to have standards and to have certain things that you want from a person in your life. And being like, that's okay. I will find somebody who aligns with the things that I want and it's not this person. But I know that person's going to come in. And I don't care if it's, it takes a year. I don't care. Like, I would rather wait a year, 2 years, 3 years for my perfect person than settle on somebody who, and I'm perfect in quotations because nobody's perfect, then settle for somebody who isn't it. Because I'm so afraid. Because when you do that, then the right person is not going to come in because you're going to have no space for them. They're not even going to know that they can come in, right? And you're going to tell the universe, no, I'm actually okay with this lesser version because, I'm too afraid. I'm too afraid. Don't be afraid. Have some courage. And yeah, lead with courage. The next thing I want to talk about with an abundant mindset is that, I don't know, when I think of abundance, I think of just like happiness and freedom. And a lot of people jumped immediately to money, which is normal. That's okay. Money as well. That's just a huge topic of conversation. And money is really important, right? We need money. We need money to survive. Money is just energy, though, at the end of the day. So the energy that you're putting towards money is extremely important. And if you are looking at money as a lack of or wanting more constantly or focusing on how you want more or focusing how you need to save more, all these things, which again, you should save money. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't know your finances, so take this all with a grain of salt. But if you are constantly looking at money as something that you are chasing, something that you need more of, and you're putting so much emphasis on having that money, you are forming a negative relationship with that. You are forming a scarcity mindset, and you do not believe that money is going to come towards you or that you're going to make more of it. I've never been one to like hold on to money that tightly, which sounds really bad, but like my parents always provided me with exactly what I needed, and they definitely spoiled me in a lot of ways. But I also had to work really hard, and I understood how hard my parents worked because I went to work with them, and my dad was always working. That's honestly like such a quality that is so attractive to me too now. Like that's the one thing that like my dad was a great example of, is somebody who works really, really hard and he doesn't give up, and he created his business and he really believes in it. That's something that was instilled in me, and that's something that is instilled in somebody who I look for in a partner, somebody who works really hard, but also somebody who can enjoy. And I think a lot of the older generations, like especially my mom, they save, and they have all this money, but because they grew up in this depression period or with parents who saved and never spent or never was scared that any second, the market could crash and they would lose their job or whatever it is. Like my grandparents lived very frugal, and that definitely rubbed off on my mom and my dad as well. They had all this money and they spent a little bit of it, but they saved a lot of money. And my mom still now to this day, I think actually has a pretty negative relationship with money, where she has, she does really well for herself. I don't think she like understands that she could like enjoy life a little bit more, like travel, like do all these things. And for her, she just saves the money, which is fine. For me, I was like, I want to enjoy my money. Like I looked at that and I was like, I don't know, that couldn't be me. I was just listening to a song lyric yesterday that was like, he had 100,000 and he gave you $100 and I had nothing in my pocket, but I gave you 20. That's me. Okay. That's how I am. Not me trying to like rap. Not me relating this to that, but like there's some people who have a lot of money and they don't spend it. They are scared to, and they're scared that it's going to run away, or they feel like they want to save it. That's fine. For me, it's like I could have $0 to my name and I'm going on the trip, or like I'm buying something for my friends, or I'm spending the money on the coffee. because I believe that it's gonna come back to me. I believe that it's gonna come back around, and it's just an energy exchange. And I never want money to really control me. I think money should be freedom. It shouldn't be used to control you. I've always worked really hard for my money, and I don't spend above my means by any means. I never get myself in any bad situations with money. But could I cut back on a few things? Sure. But am I really gonna like rob myself of like the $7 coffee? Like if the $7 coffee is not gonna put me over, you know, the extra $20 that I spent at the farmer's market is not gonna put me over. And if you are having these little like thoughts in your head, like, oh, I shouldn't get that. Even these freaking slippers. I bought these slippers like when I was on a bachelorette at like a little like shop that sells little things. And I was looking at them and I'm like, do I need to spend like $15 on these slippers? These are my favorite goddamn slippers. I never take them off. And you know what? I'm happy that I like went to that little souvenir shop and spent some money on some like silly souvenirs to remember that. Like sometimes I think we start to be like, that's silly. You don't need that. Don't buy everything that you lay your eyes on, but don't have that conversation in your head every time you're like, oh, I really want that matcha, but like, ugh, like it's $8. Like, you know what? Sometimes you deserve it. Don't even blink an eyelash. Like as long as you have enough money to pay for it and like it's really not going to put you over, buy yourself the matcha. You deserve it. It'll come back, right? Like the language and those little things are like wiring your brain, you know? So like I will do little things like I will, you know, spend the money on the coffee, whatever. Spend the money on the coffee. I don't think about it. I bought myself a trip to Costa Rica to go on a retreat. Could I have not done that? Sure. But I was like, I deserve this and I'm going to go. My yoga teacher training that I'm doing, it's expensive. I reached out to Mimi, who's the studio I go to. Also, shout out Mimi Yoga Studio. If you guys ever see me there, always say hi to me. But also come in and visit if you have been wanting to try a new yoga studio in Wynwood. They also just opened up in Coconut Grove. The yoga teacher training is expensive. I reached out to Mimi and I was like, hey, like I really want to do this. Like, could you give me the details, blah, blah, blah. She gave me the pricing and I'm like, oh, like it's a tight month this month. Like I already spent the money on the Costa retreat and this and that. And like I spent a lot of money on travel. Maybe I shouldn't do the yoga teacher training, even though I really wanted to, and I can wait till next time. But I still reach out to Mimi anyways, just to like ask her about it. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. I started to look at it and not think how much money I'm spending on this certification. But I started to think about it like, 1, the knowledge I'm going to gain. 2, how much fun I'm going to have. 3, how many amazing people I'm going to meet. 4, me doing something that I've been wanting to do for so long. Like how fulfilling is this going to be? 5, the fact that after I get this, I get to host events for you guys. Which has been my dream. I get to teach yoga. That's going to make money back, right? Like I'm going to be teaching, like that's a job. I'm going to be teaching yoga. And just like how this is going to make me feel better, make me feel like actually like I have a certification. So now I can actually teach you guys yoga and be certified and teach you guys on TikTok too, and like make more content out of it. Like all of it's going to come back around and loops into a bigger picture. The money that I spent on it now is like an afterthought. I'm like, that money, now I almost got it like for dirt cheap, thinking about it that way, because of the payoff and all the things that this is going to give me. So start to look at like all the rewards, all the positive things that are going to spiral out of you maybe spending the extra whatever amount of money on something. Like it's an investment. It's an investment into yourself. It's an investment into your happiness. It's an investment into your future. It doesn't matter how big or small either. All the little things add up. That coffee every single day makes me happy. That pumpkin spice latte makes me freaking happy, okay? And now I get to go about my day like all happy because, you know what? I spent the $7 on the coffee. Because even if you think about it too, like all the money in the world, you could still have a lack mindset. And you, like similar to my parents and a lot of people, I'm sure, like they have the money and they still have the lack mindset, or they still feel like they need more. So at what point is it enough? And the answer is never. So you might as well just like have a positive relationship, trust that it's going to come back around, and trust that you are worthy and that you are worth spending the money on. Because also it's like, you know, in dating, one of my girlfriends, she makes great money for herself, all this stuff. She goes into all these dates and she always offers to pay. And she always, you know, she gets these men who like want to split or like have her pay or whatever. And she's always feels guilty if a guy pays for her. And I'm just like, listen, girly, like you have to teach yourself that you are worth the money. I am worth being spent $100 on dinner. I am worth that. That's nothing. Are you kidding me? And when you instill that mindset by buying things for yourself, buying things for your friends, I'm not saying go overboard, but telling yourself like you are worth it so that when you are dating, you understand I am worth it. And if he can't dish out an extra $50 for me, he's not somebody who I want to date. Okay? Like, that's just how I feel, genuinely. And if this man doesn't want to dish out that amount of money, fine, that's his prerogative, but we're not going to line up because that's not my relationship with money. And the last thing I need is to date a man or have anybody in my life, friends, family, whoever, who have a negative mindset towards money, because that is not going to help my relationship with money. That's not going to help my overall abundant mindset. I need to be around people who are also abundant. And that is also going to help your abundant mindset, is surrounding yourself with people with a similar mindset and who are also abundant. All of my friends, very abundant mindsets, very half glass full. I do not keep negative people around. I do not keep complainers around. I do not keep people around who just don't enjoy life, who don't love their life, who don't want to live their life. All of my friends are on the same wavelength as me. Just this past weekend, Soho House, they had no beach chairs. You know what my friend did? She was just like, I don't know, maybe we could just like spend an extra like $20, $30, whatever it is, to like get them to give her some beach chairs. And it's like no skin off the back, you know? It's like, that'll make everybody's life easier. Is it a little bit of extra money? Yes. But do I know that money's going to come back? Also, yes. Are we all now going to enjoy our experience? Yes. None of my friends are like in this lack mindset of like, well, we can't spend that or we shouldn't do that because like we could get it for free. But it's like, maybe that sounds privileged. I get not everybody can do that. But I'm just saying, like, all my friends have this mindset of like, I don't need to hold on too tightly to things, or I don't need to sweat the small stuff so much, like sweat the small expenses. Like even when it comes to like splitting things, like, I don't know, like I won't really ask my friends, like if I buy, like I'm like, oh, does anybody need a coffee, or does anybody need something from Pura Vida, or does anybody want something from here? I'm not gonna like Venmo request them for like $10, $15, $20. Like, you got me next time. Like whenever they're like, oh, I'll pay, I'm like, you got me next time. And like, that's how it is. It's like, or it's just like a gift, you know? I think that if we're all splitting pennies, that can also just kind of have an effect on your mindset about money as well. And again, like that's just my friend group. That's how I function. That's how we all function. Not everybody's like that. So if you can't do that, then absolutely don't. But I think little things like getting your friends flowers or gifts, or, you know, sending somebody, hey, here's like $5 for coffee today. Here's a special gift from me, and it's for no reason. I think doing little things like that can also keep you in an abundant mindset, because it just shows you like, I want to give. And the more that you give, the more that you get. And donating money, all these things just show you like, yeah, this might not be directly benefiting me. This might not lead to a material item. This might be a waste. I say in quotes, ow, I'm getting a weird pain in my vagina right now because of my period. This might like seem like a waste of money to some people. Do I have to throw this random person $10? No. But like, is it a nice thing to do? And does it show that like I'm able to give? Yes. And I think like doing things like that keeps you in this mindset of like, oh, it's all going to come back to me. I'm like, oh, the world will repay me for that. The universe will repay me for that. God will repay me for that. And it's just like, it makes somebody else's day and it makes them feel good. And then it makes them want to give. And maybe they surprise you with something in a couple months, or maybe they surprise somebody else, and it just passes around the positivity stick. I can't stand to be around somebody or like talk to somebody who has a negative mindset with money, because we just don't align. Like, I can't align with you. And it goes back to literally just the root of like having a negative mindset towards everything. And I think like people who have a negative mindset towards one thing are going to have a negative mindset towards a lot of things. And if you don't have an abundance mindset about one thing, I do think like that rubs off to in a lot of other aspects of your life as well. It's hard for me to get along with people who don't have an abundant mindset. Look at like the relationships around you and like how people make you feel, and like if they bring you to a positive place or if they're bringing you to a negative place. The next thing that I can say about like having an abundant mindset is Really, when you wake up every single morning, decide for yourself what kind of day that you want to have. What does today look like for me? Do I want to be happy? Yes. I hope the answer is yes. We can have sad days, but like even on your sad days, it's like, or when things are going wrong, or shit's hitting the fan, or you got bad news, or, you know, things just aren't going your way, whatever it is. Look at the situation, take a deep breath and be like, what kind of day do I want to have? How can I make this a good day? And for me in the mornings, like just on a normal day that I wake up and I'm, you know, in my normal mood, and I'm just like, okay, what kind of day? I'm going to have a good day. We're going to have a good day today. I literally tell myself it's going to be an amazing day. Sometimes I'll send my friends a good morning text. Hey, I hope you have an amazing day. I love you, whatever. I just sent like Jordan a text a couple days ago, just randomly thought about her. And I was like, I love you and I miss you. I sent her a whole little paragraph and I was like, you're just going to be an amazing Pilates instructor and you're incredible. And I'm so proud of you. And like something like that, just like setting up your day by sending somebody else a positive message. And then now they read that, they're going to have a good day too. Little things like that keep me in an abundant mindset, because me telling somebody else something, I'm like, if I believe it for that person, then I have to believe it for myself as well. I can't believe that that person deserves that and I don't deserve that as well. I can't believe that person deserves to have a good day and I don't. We all deserve to have good days every single day. So I wake up and I'm like, it's going to be a great day. So I send one of my friends a text message. That's almost like buying someone a coffee, right? It's like that same energy exchange of like, I just did something for that person. They didn't ask me to. I just did it because I wanted to. I'm spreading the positivity. I know that I'm going to get that good energy back if I put it out there. So send a text message to somebody that you love. Hey, I hope you have an amazing day today. Type. Okay, great. Now I'm going to go put on I'm just like walking you through. Now I'm going to go put on a good happy song, a song that puts me in my confidence, a song that makes me dance a little bit, a song that makes me happy. I love to put on a good music. I always have happy music in the mornings. I'm dancing, I'm singing, I'm just feeling myself, I'm vibing. That's going to put me in a high vibration immediately. Something that I've also been trying to get better, and then I will, is making sure not to be on social media right in the morning too, because I don't need to see like something negative in the morning. I don't need to see like a bad comment in the morning. I don't need to see a bad piece of news in the morning. Get that out of my brain. That's not how I want to start my day. So if you find that watching the news or looking at social media right in the morning is bringing your energy level down or is affecting your day or is putting you in a negative mindset, then maybe don't do that. So I try to kind of like steer away from all those things in the morning and just really focus on the present moment. So I get up, I put on my music, I make myself a coffee. Yay, love my coffee and I enjoy it. I go and I work out first thing in the morning. This always puts me in a good mood. If I don't work out in the morning, I'm going to have a slow, lazy day the rest of the day. That's just how it goes. Like, I just need to have my natural endorphins in the morning. Working out will release whatever stress I have, whatever negative thoughts I have. When I work out, all that goes away for the hour that I work out. I mean, at that point, like you're just set up for success and you then just roll with the punches. And when stuff starts to go awry, which it will, because that is life, and some days are better than others. Some days everything's perfect. Some days everything's wrong. But on the days that things are going wrong, let's try to flip it and have an abundant mindset about it. Make the best out of the worst situations. You can't control things. Like, I don't know how many times I can say that. You can't control things. You can't control life. There's always something positive that can be made from a bad situation. And I know maybe that sounds a little bit like annoying, like we don't like the overly positive person. We can look at the situation and be like, that's not a great situation. I understand that. I know that this is not ideal. This is not how I pictured things going, but this is the reality. So what can I do with this where then I can look back at this day and be like, I created lemonade out of lemons. I did something with this. Like a couple of days ago. I freaking go to my yoga class. I thought it was at 9:30. It was 9 a.m. I walk in. It was like 9:15. Everybody's looking at me kind of weird. And I'm like, wait, like, what? Like, what's wrong? They were like, oh, like, there's maybe some room in the back. Like, you can squeeze in. Like, it's fine. I'm like, wait, isn't class at 9? They were like, no, it's at 9:30. I was like, isn't class at 9:30? They're like, no, it was at 9. I was like, and immediately in that morning, I was like, my morning's ruined. All I wanted to do was take this yoga class. I wanted to take this class so bad on my Sunday morning. I was so excited for it. I was just like, but I had that one moment of disgust with myself and being upset. And I was like, you know what? I actually had to stop by here anyways to grab my yoga mat because I did leave it. So I was able to grab my yoga mat. I was able to pop in, say hi to the girlies. And I was like, okay, well, I'm already out and about. What can I do from here? And I thought in my head I could either look at another workout studio that's close to me, see if they have any classes, or I could go grocery shopping, or I could go on a long walk because I wanted to also go for a walk. So I allowed myself to have 3 possible outcomes out of this one, not so great situation. And I know that this is like low on the spectrum, but it's just like an example of how things could go wrong for you. And then it's like, well, what can I do? Because I'm already here. And like, how can I make this the best situation? And you know what? I ended up finding a workout class at Studio 3, which is really close to me. I love that studio. They had one at 9:45. So I was like, let me go drive there. I waited in my car a little bit. I watched some TikToks. I like was laughing, blah, 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 whatever. Took care of some emails and went into Studio 3, had a great class. It was not the class that I was expecting to take, but it was still a really good workout. Got my workout in. And then I was like a little bit late for the things that I had to do afterwards, but then I just skipped a few steps and I went directly to my friend's house, borrowed a bathing suit from her. No big deal. Like couldn't, stop home, do what I wanted to do my routine, couldn't make my breakfast, anything. Got derailed a little bit, but you know what? Everything was fine. And the world kept spinning and my day kept going on. That was it. So in any situation, it's like provide yourself options of what you could do. It's like, okay, one of the options is I could be really upset and I could cry and I could throw a tantrum. But the next option is that I could do this, or I could do this, or I could do this, and start looking at all the possibilities that could come from that one thing not working in your favor. Yeah, like think about that in all situations in life. Like think about even when you're starting to think about like your dating life or your friendships and stuff like that. You can think about your exes. Think about, these past things that didn't work out. But it's like, but what did I gain from that? And like, am I happy with my life now? Yes. Okay. So those things had to happen. And I see that those things have led me here into the person that I am today. So I can't be mad. Let me look at all the things that I've gained and how I can apply it to my future life and the future things that are happening for me. That's kind of like how I lead my life, with an abundant mindset about everything: money, friendships, dating, just life in general, and just being happy, honestly. And I think with anything, it's gonna be hard at first. It's not gonna come natural. It's maybe gonna feel a little forced. Like it's hard. You're gonna have to rewire your brain, rewire your thoughts. But as time goes on, it does get easier and it's gonna become more natural, and it's gonna become your new normal. It's gonna become your new instinct, is to look at the positive side of things. And I promise you, it is so much better. It's so much more fun over here. It's gonna make your life so much more full and so much more happy, and just appreciate all the little things. The last thing I will say is that gratitude helps. Practice gratitude every single day. Just watch the sunrise, watch the sunset, take in all the little things, go on a color walk. I just heard about this recently. Like you're like, I'm going to look for all the things that are blue on this walk. And then you start to notice all the little things around you that are blue, and you appreciate those little things. It makes you feel really present in the now, and to keep an eye out for things that maybe you wouldn't typically. If you're going to live in your brain, you might as well make it a happy place. You might as well make it a positive place. But that is all for this week's episode. I really went off on a tangent on a lot of things. I just felt really passionate about this and just kind of poured out of me. So I hope that it helped you. I hope that it put you in a better place. And whenever you're in a bad place, maybe just come back to this episode, say your affirmations. I say my affirmations every single day. I tell myself that I am amazing and incredible and irreplaceable, and I am one of a kind, and I am worthy and deserving and loved and unconditionally loved. And maybe you should tell yourself those things too, because that always helps me. I will see you guys next week on Girl Therapy. If you watched this episode, or if you liked this episode, please share it either on Instagram or with your friends, whatever. If you do, tag me as well. And make sure you're following me everywhere. Follow me here, Nicole Doyon, TikTok, Nicole_Doyon, Snapchat, Nicole Doyon. I'm almost at 10K followers, yay. And Instagram, Nicole Doyon. Thank you, girlies. I will see you next week on another episode of Girl Therapy. Bye.